Okay, so today we have my brother-in-law, Mike Zois. He is the co-owner, founder, and plumber of Ram Plumbing and Heating. Mike, thank you for being on today. I appreciate it. Before we get into it, I'll turn it over to you to introduce yourself properly and tell me a little bit about what you do today. Is that cool?
Yeah, it's fine. So my name's Mike Zois. I'm a plumber. We do new construction, rehabs, service, basically anything plumbing related.
All right, cool. When did you start this? So I know you've been doing plumbing for a while. When did you start this Ram Heating and Plumbing?
So it was a friend of me and a friend of mine. We both just quit our jobs. Like
Okay.
we just had enough of the riffraff and like a lot of these dudes out here, they like rip people off and like we're not okay with doing that. But we started in November, but we got official with like, on paper and through the government. Like, Uncle Sam's got to make his buck, but we got all official in January.
All right, cool. Congratulations. That's
Yeah,
awesome. How are things going?
pretty good. I mean, we're working. We can, if we wanted to work 6 days a week, 7 days a week, we could.
That's great. Glad to hear that.
So far, so good. God's will, man.
All right, so tell me, what initially got you into plumbing?
So I tried to be a plumber when I was like 16, 17. I was getting ready to graduate high school
Okay.
and I wanted to be a plumber and I couldn't get a job plumbing. Like I wanted to go to school for it. Like I'm from Delaware County, so I tried to go to like Delaware County Technical School to be a plumber and they're like, "No, you got to get a job." And I was like, "All right." And then so how it works is you can't pay for the schooling. The plumber that you work under pays for the schooling and
Okay.
then they deduct it from your check. So it's like you sign a contract, and it's like if you leave me within 6 years of completing whatever, then you got to pay the schooling back. You know,
Okay.
so but I moved up to Bucks County, and I was just looking for a job, and my buddy he was plumbing, he was doing underground plumbing. He's like, "Yeah, I need a laborer to dig some holes," and I was like, "How much are they paying?" And he's like, $9 an hour. And I was like, all right, because every other job was like $7 an hour. That was 10 years ago.
Okay. All right,
Yeah.
so that got you into it. All right. So remind me, was plumbing your first job or
No,
this? No.
no, plumbing was not my first job. My first job was brick masonry. So I was doing like pointing bricks and like grinding out old stucco and masonry work on
My great
scaffolds.
my great grandfather was a mason. Well, he worked in masonry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Go
love
ahead.
masonry work.
What made you so did you know you always wanted to do something some kind of trade?
Yeah, I mean, originally when I was a kid, I wanted to be a lawyer.
Okay.
Like, they had like career day. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah.
And I wanted to be a lawyer. Well, I wanted to go in the military and then, after the military, be a lawyer. But, my stars didn't line up that way and I had to pick tools up. So,
Okay. So all right, so I don't want to jump ahead here, but
all right,
so
go ahead.
what I have a question for you that I don't know if you ever thought of this, but I'll wait to get there. So I know we just kind of talked about it. So I feel like every single person that I talk to, no one's career is linear anymore. So you said your first job was in masonry.
Yeah.
Then can you walk me through that? Either you said you loved it, but how come you ended up moving out of that to look into plumbing?
Well, all right. So
Yeah,
I
walk me through
start,
your career journey a little bit.
all right. So when I was 12, I
Okay.
started wanting things. Well, I'm raised in a pizza shop.
Okay.
And my family comes from pizza shops, so like that's like a 24-hour business.
Yes.
No
Yes.
matter what, it's a restaurant.
Yep.
You're never home. You know, it's good money. My grandpa, he came here from Greece with nothing, and he ended up having a good life. You know what I mean? So like from the pizza shop business, but I didn't want to go with that because every time I was at the pizza shop, would have to work like
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
child labor, dude. Like I'm folding pizza boxes, stacking the coolers. I didn't want
Yeah.
to do
Yeah.
that, so like I had to find something else to do. So I have a stepfather, so I would either go to work with my stepdad, which he's an auto mechanic, or one of his cousins or whatever, which is they're in the trade. So I started off doing masonry, and then it went to carpentry. I was like doing demolition and remodeling. I was making pretty decent money. Then after that, I went to school for electrical. Technically, I'm certified electrician, but like I don't really, it's not really my thing. I don't want to touch electric,
Okay.
so I didn't like that. And then I was painting bridges for a while. I did that for probably like 4 years, 5 years. I was painting bridges, but I couldn't stop drinking, and I kept falling off like the scaffolding and stuff like that. I
Oh
mean,
my
you're
God, dude,
harnessed
I didn't
up.
even
Yeah,
know that.
yeah. I painted the double decker and the Philly Stadium.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So
Uh,
anyway, then I did that, and then I ended up doing like home repair, and the plumbing part of the home repair is what paid the most.
okay.
Like it was quick money. Like I would go in there, reset a toilet, or change like the wax ring, or like a handle in your faucet, whatever, and I'd get like $300 out of it. Like my uncle would set the job up. Like I wouldn't have to go look for work. It was like, because he did general contracting on the
Okay.
side. He works at the courthouse, but he does general contracting on the side. And so he would be like, "Oh, Mikey, go do this real quick," and they'll give you a check. And I'm looking at these checks, and I'm like, "Dude, that took me 15 minutes," and you're getting like a nice check, and you're only giving me like an eighth of it.
All right. So then it wasn't that you disliked the other trades or you liked plumbing more. It was that you saw an opportunity there to make money in it, and you're like, I'll pursue
Yeah,
this.
and I liked like the response I got back.
Okay.
Think about that, right? If you can't use your toilet, you're thinking like, dude, what am I gonna do? I got kids. Seriously,
Yeah. No.
right?
No. I get what you're
And then
saying.
somebody just comes in and, they shove something down the toilet, or, put their hand in there and pull something like eyeglasses out or whatever. And like, the response back, like it made me feel like a hero, to be honest with you. Like I was saving that person's day.
Yeah.
Not to be corny or like go back to like
No.
being like a kid or something. Like I'm
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
Batman or nothing, but like, it gave me a sense of need, if that makes any sense to
Yeah.
you. Like
That's great.
somebody needed me, and like I was able to. That's the main thing that attracted me.
Okay. I like that. Do you have any? So you made a few pivots. That's clear. It's cool now. And I am going to be curious too about now that you started your own business, what you think that side is like. Do you find yourself spending more time with that, or do you still find yourself the majority of the time spending like focusing on the plumbing aspect, or is it hard finding business? Or I'm curious about all of the like entrepreneurial stuff too. But how about in from your day-to-day work? Any milestones or things that you're particularly proud of?
So my day to day work, like I'm normally like I specialize in underground,
Okay.
which is the kind of plumbing that nobody sees.
Yeah.
So I did that for like the first probably 6 years of my career, like every day, rain, snow, whatever. What I'm most proud about right now is my like we call it like new construction, like rough in, like my skill level on that, like how fast
How
it like
fast you could
went.
do it?
Yeah, well, not how fast I could do it, but how fast I took it and just ran with it. I
Gotcha.
was always scared to do the inside stuff. I mean, besides the finish and the service stuff, but like build it from the ground up. The way it just started clicking in my head, and how quickly I started to making it look good too. Like it's not sloppy. Like you don't see purple primer everywhere, or it's up to
Sure.
code and stuff. So that's
Okay.
probably the most thing I'm proud of, is how quickly I progressed on the rough in game.
Okay, that's cool. Um, what's something that might surprise people about plumbing that have no idea?
The fact that it's not like forever. Like you can't put grease down the drain. Like you just can't do that.
Okay, okay.
Like a lot of people don't understand that, and like they think it's okay, but it's actually so the code has changed. It used to be you got to use copper for water lines. Not everybody knows this, but copper is a natural bacteria killer. And people are like, oh, just put the PVC or the PEX, the new stuff in there, right? what we don't know is that PVC is like, polyurethane. It's it's plastic. It is, it holds bacteria and builds mold. So,
So okay. So
people don't
over
really
time,
know that. Over
okay.
time, yeah, if you're drinking out of the water, like they'll tell you not to drink out of the garden hose, right?
Yeah,
It's the
yeah.
same reason because bacteria grows in there. It's the same reason.
Okay.
People don't know that.
Yeah, and it's funny too because it might have been you when I had my house in South Philly when you were telling me about you're like, "Oh, this is you don't see this often. There's still a lot of copper
Yeah.
pipes everywhere and a
Yeah.
lot of
You had
people
copper
now
drains too.
yeah, yeah, and you said a
Yeah.
lot of people now will start with the PVC probably because it's cheaper, right?
Yeah. Cheaper, easier to put in. I mean,
Okay.
like we just did a house and he wanted all copper water lines. Now it was a house in King of Prussia. Normally it was three bathrooms, a laundry room, a sink, basic house, right? And we would have blew that out in a day with if we would have did PEX. Like it would have took like 4 hours, two guys, four
Okay.
hours. But we had to do everything in copper. So like, and he didn't want no soffit. So we're drilling through every single joist at 16 on center. So you can't get a whole 10-footer in there. It's a little bit of a pain in the butt. It took us a little bit.
Okay.
Instead of 4 hours, it took us 2 days maybe.
But are you saying that it's worth it though for people to consider that or no?
If you have the money to do it,
Okay. Okay.
yes. But like if you're just looking for like a quick flip, then go with PAX. Or if you don't have the money to do it, then But I know
Gotcha.
when I build my house, I'm gonna have copper border lines.
Enough said. Yeah. All right. So there's a couple. I don't know which way I want to go with this, but I am curious now. What's it like on the entrepreneurial side? Are you enjoying it? Like, is that side cool or?
So it's a little scary right
I'm
now.
sure.
I'm like I have a newfound faith in God, and before this, I was like involved in the church for like a year and a half, and like I was the higher ups in my church. They were like, "Oh, like God provides, God provides," and I was like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, okay." Like and then like I actually stopped and thought about it. Like I've never once in my life had a problem with getting a job. Never once. Like I could quit today and tomorrow I make a phone call and I'll have a job. Right. So I just keep that mentality in my head. Like God will provide, and God has continued to provide. And I'm not preaching to you, but that's my belief. And like as long as I keep that in my mind, and like I have that kind of faith, then like yeah, God will provide for me. Now it is scary. Obviously I don't have that guaranteed 40. My partner and I were answering phone calls while completing jobs, just us two.
Yeah.
So, we still have deadlines we got to meet. We still have service calls we got to do for existing customers or, new customers, because at the end of the day, the service calls, that's the bread and butter. That's what's going to keep the door open for us. These big jobs, the rough end jobs, they're few and far between. So we can't put all our energy into the big ones. We still got to, what we like set out to do was to start a service company that is affordable.
It's
So we don't want to like shun them away because we got this builder. I mean, yeah, we want to please the builder as well because we want him to keep using us.
yeah.
But like that's like, you know, yeah, we'll give you 3 days here, but then like the other 2 days, we have this also. Like we're actually in the middle of that right now. Like we got this builder from Boston, and he buys a lot of houses in Philly, and he right now we're doing like a 8 unit. It's an 8 unit building.
Okay.
So that's like 32 bathrooms, dude. Like
My God.
dude, it's a lot of bathrooms,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
8 stories, sorry. It's 8 stories and it's
So it's
32 units.
okay. So it's like an apartment complex then. It's not just
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. Okay.
So it's big,
Yeah.
and we're moving along good, but we're like, yo, we have this other job. Like we did a rough couple months ago, and on the contract, like we got to do the finish work. That's like setting fixtures and stuff like that. So we need 2 days to do that. So we went to him, hey, look, like we'll be this far along, and then like Wednesday we got to go and do a finish at another job. he's understanding, you know. But of course, he wants his stuff done because the plumbers are coming first, and then it's the HVAC guys, then the
Sure, sure.
electricians. So we don't want to hold him up, you know. So
Yeah, but still, it's a good. I don't know what the right word is, but a good lesson, a good mindset to not. You're not letting, because that happens to. Not that you guys are a mom and pop shop, but like the idea is that if you start to get bigger, you don't want to forget the people who got you. Like the
exactly,
yeah, yeah,
right,
yeah.
right. Like we
So
do,
that's
we
cool.
do jobs for this roofer, right? Like he kind of was there that got us up and
Yes.
rolling, you know. It's little stuff.
Yeah.
Move a hose bib for a roof deck, or you know, he's redoing the roof deck, so we gotta cut the vent and move the vent over because it's not up to code anymore. You know, like stuff like that, and like he still calls us for stuff like that. And like,
Yeah,
yeah, it's small money jobs. Like
but it's big when you're starting, right? Like
it is,
yeah,
right? And that's the bread and butter I'm talking about. It's them little ticket jobs. Them little ticket jobs, they add up
they
because
add
they
up.
come more
Yeah,
often.
absolutely.
The little
And
ones.
especially in any business when you're starting out, when you're an entrepreneur, there's no, like you said, there's no guaranteed 40. There's nothing guaranteed. You eat
Right.
what you kill. So you have
Right.
to make sure that yeah. So that's that's cool. All right, so this is what I was going to ask in the beginning. So one thing I don't even know if I ever said this to you, but I think I said it to Allie. Was one thing that I always respected about you was like I mean, you've always come over to help me every time I've had an issue with stuff in my house. This is not my bread and butter. I have no idea what I'm doing when it comes to plumbing. But the one thing that was always cool was I always saw you do it with your kids was you always taught them while you were doing it. So you always took the time to do that. And even with my kids, when you would come over, like my kids would get so excited when I said you were coming over to help me fix the water heater in my new place. And you were having Anthony hand you some of the tools. You were explaining stuff to him. My daughter was loving it too. So I said to Allie, I was like, that means a lot to the kids. But looking at things more broadly, have you ever thought about, and I don't know what this would look like, but I know like at a school or anything, have you ever thought about going into teaching, or do you enjoy when new people would come on in your previous roles and having to teach them things? Because you always did such a good job of being patient and explaining every little detail, where I know myself sometimes I could get frustrated and just try to want to get the thing done. But I
Yeah.
thought you did a good job of always stopping and teaching, and you did such a good job with that. So I'm curious, is that something that you're passionate about or that you ever thought about doing in the future?
So I definitely love to teach this trade, right?
Okay.
Like it's or like kind of anything. Like even when I'm like teaching my kids how to ride a bicycle or whatever, like I try to be patient only because when I was being taught something, I
Yeah.
was a wrench was coming behind it. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
like it was you get it right now, or
Yeah.
you're going to be eating this broomstick. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like, but no, seriously, at past companies, there's a time and a place to teach, and there's a time and a place to not. You know,
Yeah.
I can fire water heaters in with my eyes closed. That's how many I've done. But if we're roughing in a building like we're doing now, I'm not the teacher because I'm still kind of the student. That's where my business partner Ray comes in. Like
Okay.
my weaknesses are his strengths.
Oh, that's
His
great.
strengths are my weaknesses. Like I can kick a shovel with the best of them, right? He can't. I can sling cast iron. He can't. Um, he can rough in 6 stories in a day. I can't. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, yeah.
but to the teaching thing, it's if I teach the guy next to me today, tomorrow when we do that job will go smoother. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
He learned the parts yesterday. He learned the tools yesterday. You know, he's kind of that's that's kind of what I got out of this trade. You know, now when I was in this trade, like in the beginning, like I said, things were getting thrown. I was getting hollered at. Like it wasn't as calm as I make it to be. But that's old school plumbers. Like if you think of a plumber, you think of some old fat guy always angry, right?
Yeah,
Right? Like we're trying to
yeah, yeah.
change the narrative here. You know what I mean? And Ray's the same way. Like my business partner, he's real calm and like he doesn't mind to teach you.
Yeah, sure.
So I'm not much of a school guy, to be honest with you. I'm more of a hands-on kind of learner, hands-on kind of teacher, So for the school thing, I don't think I would be a good school teacher. I also curse too much, so
Yeah, so I still think I don't know. I get it. I hear what you're saying. I just always that's one thing I've always noticed about you. So I think
who
that's a
knows? To
it's
be honest
yeah.
with you, who knows?
Yeah, maybe
God's
I
will, eh? You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? If that's where my path leads me 20, 30 years from now, then, that's what I'm going to do.
all right. All right, so that leads me to the namesake question. So of this podcast is if I knew then. So if I knew then what I know now, would I approach things differently? Would I have done anything differently? What's the way I like to phrase it is what's one piece of advice you wish you had earlier on in your career or earlier on in life that you would potentially tell your younger self or pass on to someone else looking to follow in your footsteps?
Definitely get the apprenticeship. If you want to be a plumber, definitely get the apprenticeship on a piece of paper because it's total pain in the butt trying to get it. Like when for me, for instance, 10 years in the game and I have to jump through all these hoops to get the certification, to be able to do this on my own. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I would have did it sooner, because when I started doing this, I was just looking to make $9 an hour, man. I wasn't really taking it serious. It was
Just a
very
means
cookie
to an end.
cutter.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I was just like, I'm just going to dig this hole today, and I'm going to dig it so fast because he was paying me my 8 if I got done in 4 hours. So,
Yeah, yeah.
but if I would have, so I have a buddy of mine, me and him started at the same time. He got his paperwork. I didn't get mine, like right from the jump. And his pay increase, it's not always about the money, but, everyone's
Sure.
got families to feed.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
at the end of the day, you kind of want the money, but his pay increased faster than mine. And then he got schooling. I didn't get schooling. All my knowledge came from the field. Or if I would have to ask or, look it up myself. But he had gotten schooling, so he's got certifies for all this, that, and the third, and he can't do half the stuff I can do. Not to
Yeah.
say like, oh, look at me, but
No, sure, sure.
you get what I'm
But
saying.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
field training is a
yeah,
lot.
and that's kind of hindsight is prioritize those things. I was going to say the smaller things, but it's not necessarily the smaller things, but the
Nah, yeah,
things. Yeah,
you definitely want that. Like starting out, like I ask for the apprenticeship, ask for that. Like you also got to want it too. Like don't just be like, oh, let me get an apprentice card. Like, because no one wants somebody that's not going to prove themselves. Like they're not going to waste their time. I've met a couple guys and it was like, dude, you're wasting my time. I can't even I can't even teach you nothing because you don't want to learn.
yeah,
But that's definitely one thing. Saying to a newcomer coming into the trade is go with the schooling, not just the field training.
okay. So prioritize the steps. Don't. It doesn't matter how good you get if you take care of those things early on, it'll behoove you in the end, basically.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
definitely worth it.
yeah.
People like
All
to
right.
see paperwork these days. I
It's
can't tell you
all
how
right.
many times where we go to like an interview with like a builder and they're like, oh, well, do you have like, yeah, we brought the certificates. Like, it don't matter because you could be certified in anything and you don't know how to put two pieces of pipe
Yeah.
together. You don't know how to solder a pipe together.
All right. That's good advice. All right. Uh, that's good. Thank you for that. What's next? What's next for you?
What's
What's
next
next for
for
the
me?
company? Yeah, what's next for you?
So
What's next for the company? Goals? What do you got?
we're approaching a year. Well, on paper, a year would be January. So we're looking to be hopefully next year we get two apprentices and two vehicles. So he'll be in a van, I'll be in a van, I'll have an apprentice, he'll have an apprentice. And that's the goal for this time next year.
Awesome.
If we keep going the route we're going, it's achievable. That way we can homegrown that's That's a saying in our trade. Like he's a homegrown plumber. Like
He started with you
he
and he stayed with
started
the
with
company.
us, and
Yeah.
yeah. So that's hopefully that's how we go. I mean, if it doesn't, it doesn't. We'll just
Yeah.
keep
Awesome.
doing what we're doing.
Yeah. Good to have those goals. That's awesome.
Yeah. So far, we've reached every goal. So
Congratulations. I'm happy for
appreciate
you.
that. Thank you.
That's awesome. So, thank you very much for coming on. I don't have anything else for you, but before I wrap up, I want to give you an opportunity to plug anything. You want to plug your business. What do you service? The Philly area, the surrounding suburbs? What do you
So yeah, Philadelphia, Bucks County, Delaware County, Montgomery County, a little bit into Delaware, not too far. Some parts of Jersey. We're on Facebook. We don't have an Instagram yet. We got a Google, so you can Google us, or mainly everything's just been word of mouth.
Awesome.
Best advertisement.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
free.
absolutely. Yeah. So, Ram Plumbing and Heating, I can't recommend. If you need anything, hit Mike up. I can't recommend him enough. He's helped me in my past 2 homes anytime I needed him, and no recurring issues. That's the only thing. For someone who doesn't know how to explain anything any better, I know that I haven't had to call you back to fix any of the same thing twice. So that's good in my book.
Well, if you did, we wouldn't charge you if it was something on us. If it's something on us, we wouldn't charge you. I promise that.
All right.
We
Well,
might even give you money back.
Mike, thank you very much for coming on, man. I appreciate this.
No problem, man.
It was cool hearing your
Thank you
story.
for
Thank you
inviting
for
me.
sharing it. Of course, dude. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you
All
very
right,
much, man.
Ant.
I'll talk to
Have
you
a
later.
good one, brother.
You too.